Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm talking about Season 5, Episode 19, Option 2. I'm just going to be starting off with the plot summary and then talking about my general thoughts after having just finished rewatching this episode. So yeah, the plot summary for this episode says Coulson puts the base on lockdown as Corvus and his Confederacy ship appear above the lighthouse. Despite this, Corvus's troops are able to teleport inside in pursuit of the gravitonium. While Coulson, May, Mac, Fitz, and Deke defend the control room, Yo-Yo retrieves Talbot and proceeds to the lab where Simmons, Piper, and Davis are guarding the gravitonium. Yo-Yo, Piper, and Davis attempt to clear the halls when Talbot ices Simmons and places himself in the particle infusion chamber, absorbing the remaining gravitonium. With his new powers, he is able to rescue the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents before taking off with Coulson to an unknown location. Meanwhile, Daisy relocates Robin and Polly with the help of Kane, who also gives her the centipede serum, which was once used to keep John Garrett alive. However, Kane fails to retrieve a special ingredient, prompting Daisy to dig up her mother's grave. So yeah, I just finished watching this episode, and this is another one of those kind of fun episodes. The base is being attacked by an alien spaceship, and there's actually an option for that, but Coulson's impatience with the menu, he selects the wrong one. And I'm very curious what the Lighthouse would have done differently if he'd actually waited and selected the alien invasion option as opposed to the nuclear war, nuclear fallout, or nuclear attack option. So I like that they throw in that little bit of a joke in a sense, because, you know, I don't know if they came up with what that other option would have been, but obviously this episode was about them kind of being stuck and being under attack and having to figure out a way out of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode for that. It's really kind of fun sci-fi episode too, because we got the alien ship over it. You got these, magic alien troop guys coming in. They're like scavengers that Deke remembers from the future, and they're kind of, they can take some bullets, and they kind of they teleported in using the teleport thing, but they're kind of sneaky and they got some strength. They're kind of cool. They're kind of interesting. I don't really remember their names. They're kind of one and done villains in this one, but they're interesting nonetheless. So yeah, some of the things I liked about this, I like that their plan is to just try to take, the Zephyr into space and then just launch the gravitonium at the sun. I feel like, is there maybe a different way you guys could think to shoot the gravitonium into space? I don't know. Like, Coulson, you could call Thor. You could let him know you're alive, and then you could have told him that, but I guess that wouldn't work, especially since Thor isn't actually on Earth at this point, is he? Because we know this episode is taking place during Infinity War, which I really like. They have a very, very small, tiny little Easter egg connecting it, and that's with the Candyman's mentioning that there's some weird shit going on in New York, and Daisy's just like, yeah, I don't watch the news, and they kind of brush it off. And the fact that the team's busy dealing with their own alien invasion, and the fact that they're like, okay, well, it makes sense that they might overlook this one alien ship when there's already when Thanos has got a couple ships in the atmosphere. I also find it kind of funny that it's like, well, the timing of that's just craziness, just crazy on time. But I really enjoy that. Just that little nod. I believe in the next episode they've got even a little bit more of a nod to it, or direct connection to it, because I believe that's something to do with Corvus. But yeah, I just like that they got that little connection into there. So what else do I have written down? The centipede serum coming back. I like that they, for trying to save Coulson, they bring back this thing from the first couple seasons that's been played a pretty big role in the first couple seasons, and the Deathlock character in general. So I like that little bring back, and then the fact that they gotta put Daisy in the awkward position of having to dig up her mom to get some of her DNA to use as the secret ingredient with the centipede serum to try and save Coulson. But yeah, I like that they had that tie back. Fitz and Deke were kind of fun in this episode, because you see Fitz starting to kind of be a little bit more okay with Deke, especially since Deke comes and tries to save him, even though it's very, as Fitz puts it, self-serving. But nonetheless, you see them kind of warming up to each other a little bit more. fits warming up to Deke more because Deke's happy to be. Deke's overly, connected to everybody. He just wants that connection. I mean, yeah. What else do I have? I liked just seeing the team fighting against the aliens. That was just a cool couple of sequences. We see May actually having to use a gun in this one because not that it does much against these aliens, but it was still interesting because you have Coulson being like, I know you say you take a gun when you need one. Here's a gun. And so it's like, yeah, you see that they're kind of now at a point where they're a little bit overwhelmed, but it's still just a fun one because then you see Talbot, who gets the gravitonium infused into him, coming in, saving the day, being a little bit arrogant about it. It looks like they padded him up a little bit too to make him look a little bit more bulky, but it would put in a bunch of gravitonium in you would make you probably expand a little bit, bloat a little bit at least, I'd imagine. But yeah, I still like that Talbot gets the powers. It was a little bit of the turn his character takes. I'm a little bit like, I wish he didn't go bad, but it makes sense too, especially where Talbot is at this point. I just loved Talbot as a character before, so I always wanted him to just stay as a good guy. But this turn that we get starting in this episode with him, we don't really see much of it except for his disregard for architecture and the security of the base, but just creating a new elevator shaft to take him and Coulson out. And it's like, well, that seems a little unnecessary. I get that's just flexing then. That's just showing off. It's completely unnecessary. But yeah, it was still just interesting. You kind of see that's, in my opinion at least, the first time you see him kind of having this disregard for just like the simplest things, and that's what kind of leads him down to the darker path. But yeah, that's all my general thoughts for this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Thanks again for joining me today. Sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.